Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope that you guys are having a wide awake Monday morning, the crack of dawn, not the crack of dawn, but early this morning. I'm out here taking a little bit of walk. I'd rather not be filmed because I don't want it to be about me. I want you to hear what Winona is saying. I want to talk to you about some things. You know, the word says that the older people are supposed to teach the younger. Well, since I'm officially in that category now, I guess I can start trying to teach you if you want to learn. Now, if you ignore me and don't want to learn, then go ahead and learn it the hard way. But don't say I didn't tell you or tried to warn you or tried to educate you. Now, first and foremost, I want to say one more thing about the Will and Jada thing because, got to use these moments and these opportunities to teach our people what to do and what not to do in a marriage, in a relationship. Um, yep, you all know. I had a beef, not beef, but I had a problem with Jada sleeping with her son's friend, because that's just a no-no. You don't do that. Um, but I did address the adultery, the cheating. Now, I know, before I even go there, let me just address this too. Some people say, oh, well, you're not focusing on the racism and you're not focusing on the election and the very real issues in this country. Actually, me addressing this, am I taking the opportunity to teach and try to educate some people on how to do and how to handle yourself in relationships and marriages within the Black community? Baby, I'm right on point. Because the reason a lot of us in our community be catching ourselves in a whole lot of escalated situations that didn't have to be escalated is because somebody sat us down and said, this is what you don't do. We just base how we treat one another or how we've seen other people treat one another. And let's just be real. We don't treat each other right. So how are we going to learn from toxic people? How are we going to learn from people who don't know what the definition of cheating is? We've morphed the definition of cheating so much so to the point where, in this to justify, nobody just don't call it what it is no more. So, oh, well, Will and Jada were separated. And because they were separated, they were free to be with whomever they wanted to be with. No, boo. No. Just because you are separated, when you are in a marriage, you can't, there is nothing, no reason why you are having sex outside of that union, period. Even if you're separated, you're separated. You're not divorced. You're not supposed to do anything with anybody else unless you're getting a divorce and the ink is dry on the divorce decree. Cheating, period. So that does not excuse Jada for what she did because her and Will were separated. No. See, that's how people get beat up. That's how people get shot. That's how people get stabbed. So, community policing, community mediating, teaching people how to treat each other in relationships, community policing 101. You do not step out on the marriage or relationship until it is over. And guess what? It ain't over just because you mad with somebody. It ain't over just because y'all separated. No, it ain't over because you just had an argument. That's not how that go. And that's what we do in our community. And then they'll be like, and the other person will be like, well, no, I wasn't cheating. Yes, you were. And that's what Jada tried to pull. It was an entanglement. No, heifer, you cheated. Period. And that's not acceptable. Unexcusable. So because, those kind of clear boundaries and definitions has to be pushed and taught in our community. They should know about it. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. So if you're in a relationship and you're in a marriage, you are committed in that thing until it is over. In the relationship, there is no divorce decree. The relationship ain't over until there has been a discussion and a clear communication within the two parties involved in the relationship. Hey, it's over. And we both understand it's over. Not, you ticked me off, we had an argument, so I'm free to do whatever I want. No, see, that's why people can't have no marriage, and that's why people can't have no relationship, because you don't understand what a commitment is. Jada, with all this money, and a good man, I'm not going to get into whether he was cheating on her or not, and, oh, well, he cheated on her. I'm not getting into all of that. The fact of the matter is, no matter what he do, Jada, you know what's right. I thought you know what was right. If you know to do what's right, then you do what's right. Now, I guess Jada don't know what to do what's right. Or she didn't care because it became more important for her to feel good instead of work on her marriage. So many people, they just want to jump from bed to bed to bed to bed to bed instead of working out situations. Because it's easier to stick your stuff into somebody else or to jump on top of somebody else than it is to say, you know what, we're going to work this out because I'm committed to you, because I took vows with you. People don't know how to do that no. You got to learn how to do that if you want to be married, if you want to be in a relationship. You can't just jump and run to somebody else because you ticked off with the person. Now, if you officially, hey, it's over, we can't do this, let's get a divorce. Y'all go to court, sign a divorce decree, both of you. Then, bam, when you both know and have a clear understanding that it's over, then, and only then, are you free to be with anybody else or pursue anyone else. Period. If we taught this, there would be a whole lot less butt whippings, shootings, stabbings, etc. Okay? I'm trying to help cut down on the domestic violence in our community. Because I talk to y'all. Because, people just doing what they want to do now. And if Jada and Will is doing it, my God, I know that it's going on in our communities. So, hey, we got to stop that. Time out for that. But believe it or not, that was not why I pressed record on my phone. I'm talking to y'all. I want to talk to y'all about something else. But I had a lot to say about that. My people, prophesying, prophecies, seeking the word. If you are going to church, or if you find yourself around church people or church-like people, because there are some people that don't go to church, they're still church-like. There are people who say they came out to church, but they still hold to some church infrastructures and protocols, if you will, mindsets and perspectives. If you find yourself around these type of people and they always want to prophesy to you, and you got to be careful. You have to be extremely careful that you are not accepting prophecies from people about your personal life. And I'm going to tell you why I said that. And I'm going to tell you about an instance. 15, my God, it's been that long. 15, 20 years ago. I'm in a church service. We had a guest preacher. I was a minister. Was licensed minister at the time, working the altar. Busy in church. Love Yah with everything in me. Okay? And the guest preacher was a prophet. And the pastor, and then there was this young girl in the church. I don't even know what you could call what she was supposed to be doing. She was just always running around doing whatever needs to be done. And, we look good. That looks good on people in church when they do that type of thing, when they're busy in church. So that was her. Not even out of high school. Maybe 17. Perhaps 18. And the prophet calls out the girl and prays for her. And of course, the word be all rich, and how it hype the crowd up. Hey, you are found faithful in the house of God, and God is going to bless you, and you just keep it up no matter what people have to say, blah, 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 blah. Okay. that type of word. And of course, by now she's on the floor. She's hollering, screaming, and crying. The blanket is over her legs. Okay. Then he calls the pastor. Now, I'm going to have to pause on the story and backtrack a little bit. The Lord had already shown me that this little girl had a crush on the pastor. And I told Pastor this. So you need to be careful with so and so and so and so. Because she has a little crush on you. And I detect that you are liking it. And you kind of crushing on her back. Which would be okay if she wasn't a minor. Okay, he was grown. She's still a minor. I don't think she was 17 or 18 years old. I know she was still in high school. Okay. How old she was, I don't know. But this, pretty much what was told to him was that his wife was in the church, in the service. And then he did some kind of spooky stuff, you know. And he said, the next person who I pray for is going to be your wife. And he went and laid hands on the little girl. And of course, the whole church was all on the floor, hollering and screaming and dancing and speaking in tongues. I'm not going to get into everything. Well, yeah, I have to get into everything so you can understand what a train wreck this ended up being. So, backtrack just a little bit more. The pastor has a testimony of being delivered from homosexuality. I never doubt that. Hey, if somebody say you're delivered from homosexuality because y'all delivered me from same-sex attractions, I'm going to be the one to believe you. I'm not going to question that because I know y'all is able, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. A leader that can relate to the struggle and who, he doing the thing. He's trying to live righteous. So I thought, okay. Fast forward maybe a year or so later, they're married. Okay. Obviously, she was on the cusp of not being legal. He waited till she was legal or whatever. I don't know all the details because by the time it all went down, I was gone. Because at that moment, when it was prophesied to the little girl and to the pastor that they was going to be married, the spirit right away hit me. I was the only one in the church not shouting and dancing and speaking in tongues. Because the spirit of the Lord said, that's not me. Just as clear as day. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know you could go there and be like, that's a false word from the Lord. Because everybody else was receiving it. Everybody else thought it was Yah. Everybody else was so excited because, people in church get really excited when you talk about folks getting married. So I'm just sitting there like, Lord, what am I going to do with that? I know it was like the Spirit of the Lord was just talking to me. I am not in that prophecy. That is not me. That's going to be a train wreck waiting to happen. Just hit my spirit. But I'm looking at everybody else on the floor hollering and screaming and crying and speaking in tongues. Oh, because the formerly gay pastor is going to be getting married to a female and they're going to live happily ever after. And the Spirit of the Lord was telling me, no, that's not how that's going to go, Chief. I'm telling you. So I didn't know what to do with it, so I didn't do anything. I just kept my distance. But then after that, I started seeing things manifest in church. And I just was like, this stuff is getting wild and crazy, and I'm out. And I was out. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane. So fast forward a year later, they were married. Within another year, she had a little boy for him. Okay? Now, I could say a whole lot of other things. I will say that I do know for a fact that the pastor wanted a son because he confided in me that he wanted a son. So you put 2 and 4 together and get 6. So even if whatever, I'm going to tell you something about people in church, especially in particular church leaders. They will do whatever they have to do to get whatever it is they feel like they're supposed to have. Okay? And make a very long story short, the marriage was short lived. Um, Still stands the question. They got divorced, but I don't think that he's been delivered. And now, the little girl, who's the mother of his child, is an open lesbian. She wasn't a lesbian before she married him and slept with him, but she left the marriage with more demons than what she went in the marriage with. She got out of there a lesbian. So, can you see how prophecy, even the prophecy that move your emotions, even the prophecy that does come to pass, can be sent from the pit of hell and end up being in the destruction of many people? That's just one example I've seen. And I've personally seen and experienced, been there and seen it. Seen the prophecy go forth. Seen the prophecy come to pass. Seen the prophecy wreck their life. Seen their faith shipwrecked. Well, how do you know their faith is shipwrecked? Well, that little girl is not serving Yah anymore. She's laying up with another woman. And like I said, I don't think that the pastor is fully delivered. He may not be sexually active right now, but he ain't delivered. That was at least 15 years ago. And that's sad to me. But this is the idol that the church has made of prophecy. And the prophecy, a lot of prophecy that's going forward today is nothing but a bunch of soothsaying. Nothing but a bunch of manipulation, a bunch of control. This is why you can never come to Winona and tell me who I'm going to marry. You can never come to me. I ain't even trying to hear that. Don't come. As a matter of fact, I've sat in Prophetess Juanita Bynum's church, and she will pass me up all the time. Because I'm like, look, I don't care who you are. It's not that I'm not open to prophecy. It's not that I'm not open to receive prophecy. But I understand a lot of what comes off and what's being peddled as prophecy is not prophecy. Okay? It's a bunch of manipulation, a bunch of control, a bunch of busybodiness, a bunch of meddling in private affairs of people. And, people get all psyched. Well, it came to pass. Well, what that mean? What does that mean? It came to pass. But it was sent from the pit of hell. You don't think the devil know how to prophesy too? And it's always some stupid stuff. I don't want to hear about who I'm going to marry. I don't want to hear about if I'm going to have a baby. I don't want to hear if you tell me I'm going to get a house, a car, a job, a business, even a ministry. True prophecy is supposed to speak to your spiritual condition first before it ever deals with your natural. Ooh, I felt that. I'm going to say that again. True prophecy is supposed to deal with your spiritual conditions first. Because that's the thing that's most important. It's supposed to deal with your spiritual condition first before it ever deals with anything you're dealing with in the natural. I don't need anybody to come to me and tell me what I'm supposed to do about a situation in my house. Tell me that's prophecy. Get away from me. Step back. Fall back. No, I hear from y'all myself, and I know how to dig in my word, and I know we have a connection. I hear from y'all, so I don't need nobody to fool me. And that's the kind of spirit you have to have today. How many people I know that this and that and the other, and this and that and the other, and then they found themselves in all kind of situations because somebody in church saw it in the spirit and gave a word. It was this sent from the pit of hell. And it's like, no, I've seen it happen so many times. So many times. But guess what? The way that you protect your spirit from that foolishness is I don't even when I could feel it. I could feel when the prophecy about to turn into manipulation and control and witchcraft. When it's ruach led and when it's man and flesh led. I could feel it turn in the spirit. When I feel it turn, I shut you off. I shut you down. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna shut it down. I gotta go. See you later. I feel it. You don't understand? I'm sensitive in the spirit. I could pick up foolishness. I may not have no evidence. I may not even know what it's called. But the Ruach gonna let me know that ain't right. That ain't me. And that's where you gotta learn to trust the Ruach HaKodesh, the voice of the Holy Ghost in you. That he will lead you. And he will guide you into all truth and all understanding. But you gotta trust that. You have to trust it. We're so busy. I don't know. It's like people don't trust the voice of Yah anymore. And we got to go run to this one and go run to that one and go run to this group. And I'm going, be very, very careful with that. Because the enemy know how to speak through people too. So I'm just trying to warn y'all. Because they got a lot of stuff going for it now. Because everybody got this big question mark over their head about what's going on. And the worst thing you can do is run to somebody else. They say, what the Lord telling you? Girl, bye. Bye. Boom. You better sit down and crack open that word and say, yeah, what you telling me? You better find out for yourself what y'all saying. Because we live deception. And we get all this because certain things start happening after somebody says something. I'm telling you, that's soothsaying. That's soothsaying. That ain't prophecy. You call a psychic hotline. If you go to the tarot card reader, it's the same thing. Don't ask me how I know. Y'all better be careful because it's in the church, right there. And it's even outside the church. I found it be tripping me out. Now, they don't mean no harm, but people in whatever's they want to call themselves, since they don't want to call themselves churches or ministries, they've come out of the church because they recognize that the church is a toxic place. They recognize that the church is a dysfunctional place where a lot of foolishness goes on. And so they come out, but they're still operating like the church. You confuse me. You confuse the heck out of one of them. Because I'm like, but you still operating like you the church, man. I can't. I shut you down, not because some of that stuff you teaching ain't on point. Some of that stuff is on point. But you still operating like you the church. I can't deal. I'm telling you, my spirit is so shut off from receiving things that are churchy that when I hear churchy, I'm out. I shut down. I don't listen. I don't receive it because I just can't. Because my experiences have taught me churchy is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So you can do what you want to do with it. I'm telling you, be careful. Don't receive it because it's going to end up being a hot mess. Whew, it's hot. Now, I'll get ready for my day. Whew. Y'all have a safe, productive Monday. Be blessed.